You'll often hear that the U.S. disability community includes 1 in 5 Americans. That's more than 66 million people, and doesn't include their family, friends, and allies. The National Rifles Association membership in 2018 was around 5.5 million individuals. So I've got a question for you. Who would you bet gets more of their legislation passed and issues answered at the federal, state, and local level? I'm your host, Stephen Davis, and welcome to the second episode of Disability Democracy Radio. This weekly podcast is about practical actions we can take, that you can take, to make a difference in your community. The goal of Disability Democracy Radio is to accelerate the disability community revolution. Find out more at disabilitydemocracy.org. According to a Rutgers University study, 14.3 million people with disabilities voted in 2018. That is almost 3 times the number of NRA members. Yet who gets listened to? Now, I am 1,000% in support of all the get out the vote drives in the disability community. Really, in every community. If you aren't registered, do it. Right now, pause the podcast. I'll wait. But voting isn't enough. To be effective as a community, we have to act as a community. We have to work within the existing system. It's not just get out the vote, it's get organized. It isn't magic. You've heard about dark money in politics, PACs and super PACs and 501c4s. Not just the Kochs and the NRA, but the League of Women Voters, the Sierra Club, and AARP. If you're a member of one or more of these groups, you'll note that your membership is not tax deductible. If it's not tax deductible, it's probably so the group you support can be politically active, and that is a good thing, usually. They are just different kinds of organizations that can lobby and contribute to campaigns in different ways. We're going to go into details of this in an upcoming episode. Maybe we'll call it DIY, dark money or something. But basically, anyone can organize and lobby politically, and it isn't that hard. You file some paperwork with the government to start, file some more paperwork each quarter or each year. If you can start a small business and open a bank account, you too can have a seat at our political table, and you'll start being taken seriously. Just remember that full episode transcripts and additional resources are available at disabilitydemocracy.org. We welcome your comments, feedback, and suggestions. Let us know how we can make Disability Democracy Radio more accessible and more actionable for you. In February 2020, here in California, we had our big primary election. Like you, I got a lot of election mail, flyers, postcards, letters, brochures. Perhaps, unlike you, I've started really looking at what I get. If nothing else, it can be kind of fun, like watching a baseball game. You should really start reading them. If you want to join in the game, you should definitely start saving them. Anyway, in February, one flyer really stood out. Now, our local California State Senate seat is open, so there were a lot of candidates. 6 candidates, I think. And we got this flyer that was a real hatchet job on one candidate. Basically, it said, vote for anyone except her. It was kind of amazing. Who were these people? Why did they hate this candidate? They must have spent thousands of dollars on flyers and postage to every voter to tell the voters in my district not to vote for one person out of a pool of 6. It seemed kind of crazy. Especially when you read the disclosure, so you know who is at bat in the game. And it came from a political action committee that seemingly was made up of dentists. Now, I have no idea what these dentists had to do with that candidate, but you can be sure if they showed up at your local legislative office or at your campaign, if you were a smart candidate or elected official, you would sit down and you would listen. The organized disability community consists of thousands, probably many thousands, of 501c3 not-for-profit groups and grassroots organizations. I love and admire these groups for all the things they do, but we have few, very few, and very small PACs and 501c4s that I've been able to dig up. We say, not about us without us. We say we want a seat at the table. Well, it's time to ante up and play. And it can be you. Get out some cash. The NRA's budget in 2018 was over $175 million. That's over $30 a member. For the disability community to take them on, it would be just $3 per disabled person per year. Less than you would spend playing ante poker with your friends, if it was safe to play ante poker with your friends, and way less than a fancy cup of coffee at Starbucks. That would give us $198 million a year to lobby for the disability community. Would you be willing to give up 1 cup of coffee in a year to give the disability community superpowers? If we were willing to invest just $30 per year, like the NRA does, we would have $2 billion per year. It'd be crazy. And that would be just a couple of venti frappuccinos or whatever it is that you drink in a year. So go find a PAC that cares about disability issues, or start one. Go ask your favorite not-for-profit to set up a 501c4, or start one yourself. Go give to a political candidate and make sure to write disability power or whatever so that they know who you are, why you gave them money, and that you are watching them. Then volunteer. Don't forget to vote. Organize. If you want to change the game, you've got to ante up to play. Share what you've done. Take a picture of that check. Post that you volunteered and why. Definitely let everyone know that if you've started a PAC or decided to run for office or otherwise organized for change. While I'd personally love if you marked it #DisabilityDemocracy, just share it. It is time for us not to just be the 1 in 5, but to become the Formidable Fifth. This episode of Disability Democracy Radio was sponsored by Not Without Us. Not Without Us is a 501c4 mutual benefit corporation. Our goal is equality for all disabled adults and kids with disabilities. You can learn more about our work at notwithoutus.org. Our strategy is built on democratic action. Whether it is providing support for disability organizations and allies through our directory at disabilitydemocracy.org, training aspiring local candidates for office, endorsing candidates, or directly working on issues. We'd like to thank Josh Becker and Laura Croft for their contributions to Not Without Us. You can support Not Without Us with an annual, monthly, or one-time donation at notwithoutus.org/join. If you have any questions or comments on this episode, visit disabilitydemocracy.org. You can email us, leave a comment, or even a voice message. I'm Stephen Davis, and on behalf of Not Without Us, we think that democracy comes not from a vote every 2 years, but from the actions we can take every day.